Have you ever had your plans just fall apart? I mean, you had a plan A and a plan B, and then both plans just fell apart and fell by the wayside. Sometimes we think we're going to be one thing, and we have one career goal and one career path, and then all of a sudden, the company doesn't want you no more. Or you get there and they just say, we're going in a different direction. What about entrepreneurship? Have you tried several different businesses? And now you're telling yourself, why? Why even try again? What's the use of giving it one more try? Well, I think that you must understand that somebody moved your cheese. Who moved your cheese is a good question. And I think right now, cousins, we should come together and let's pod about it.
In a world fraught with confusion, one man will break his silence. There was only one man for the job.
Come on, cousins, let's pod about it.
You are now tuned in to the funkiest show this side of the Pecos. Welcome to the Word to the Wise podcast show. Who, me? I'm your friendly neighborhood host and tour guide for this journey. Terry Patrick coming at you like this on every single Wednesday with Word to the Wise with the exclamation point. Oh, I got a good topic for you guys today and a good reason why I should bring that topic to you because I do this for Pops and Fat Mama. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me into this world. But sometimes, man, don't your world just change? Is the world changing fast for you? We have a goal that we want, and sometimes in order to achieve the goal, you got to make a plan. You can't go through life without one. It's silly to go through life without a single solitary plan in place. But boy, if you want to make God laugh, start making a bunch of plans. Trust me, everyone who left this world, everyone who has died and gone on to the great beyond, yeah, they died with big plans for the weekend and didn't make it. Yeah, had big plans for the weekend and died on a Thursday. It happens. But I'm not talking about death. I'm talking about change and being a change agent. Because if you don't prepare for change, then you will get left behind. I have a saying, change is coming. Oh yeah, one of my favorite songs, Sam Cooke. I was born by the river in a little tent. Yeah, you know the story, Sam Cooke. You know, it's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Has change come your way? Were you prepared for it, cousins? Or did you get blindsided? Well, there's a very good book. It reads kind of like a children's book. I want to show it to you. Look how thin that is. Yeah, you can read this book. I read it in one day. I used to be able to read a book every week, but so far now my reading has gotten down to where I try to get at least 6 a year. I read one book every 2 months. I used to read a book a week. You can read this in one weekend. Very easy. It sounds like a children's book, but guess what? There are hundreds of the Fortune 500 companies that swear by this book, Who Moved My Cheese? And it's by Spencer Johnson, MD. Here's how it reads. And trust me, it's a trip, right? 4 characters. 2 of them are little mice. It's called Snip and Scurry. There's just normal, ordinary mice. But these mice happen to wear jogging suits. And they got on running shoes. And then there's two little people. They're just like me and you, but they're the size of mice. These four characters are in the maze. And inside this maze, they are in search of some cheese. Now, cheese can represent a lot of different things. Cheese for some people can be, I want to be successful. I want to be the big cheese. Or I want to be just rich, but not famous. I want to live way up there on Cheddar Hill somewhere. But other people, it may be your health. It may be something as simple as happiness. Whatever your cheese is, just keep that in mind. That remember when I tell you, when I'm talking about one thing, I'm really trying to tell you a second, hoping that you have true vision to be able to see a third. I'm not talking about cheese, but in this story, wrap your mind around it. Four of them inside the maze, Sniff and Scurry, and the two little people named Hem and Haw. Hem and Haw. I mean, old folks used to say that. Where you're sitting around hemming and hawing for? Just him and ha. Well, that happens to be the name of the two little people. One day, once upon a time, inside of the maze, the two little mice, Sniff and Scurry, they started looking around. They're trying to find some cheese, right? And they got to the place called Cheese Station C, filled with cheese. All the cheese that you can imagine, it was there. And the little people were there too, him and Haw. And they came and they looked around like, man, this cheese is going to last us forever. It's a beautiful thing. And they sat down and started to, enjoy the different kind. They like the soft kind, some camembert, maybe some Gouda, maybe some American cheese, some Swiss. All kind of cheeses were there. The next day, the little mice got up early. Yes, ran over there through the maze, found Cheese Station C, took the sneakers off, put them around their neck, because they wanted to be able to find them if they ever needed them. But the little people, they start showing up later and later. And they walked slow when they got over there. And when they got there, they took off their sneakers and tossed them over in the corner, put some slippers on. Yeah, even took off their jogging suits. And they were just sitting around, just lounging, living like fat cats, over there tripping and life fantastic. Yeah, you know how it is when you're balling out of control, eating good, tipping big, and everything is everything, And that's what the little people were doing. They were getting there later and later and later until one day the little mice started looking around like, man, cheese getting kind of low around here, partner. We running a little bit low on cheese. So they started writing down, taking inventory, and starting to see that the levels were depleting. Little people, him and Haw, didn't notice at all. They didn't notice until one day, cheese ran out, all gone, no more cheese. What did the mice do? What do you think they did? I'm going to give you a second. Drop it in the comments section. Let me hear from you. What do you think the little mice did? What did him and Haw do? Him and Haw, not the little people, Sniff and Scurry. This is what they did. Sniff started sniffing around and say, we got to get out of here. We got to go someplace else. Oh, but the maze is dark and it's scary. And it's a lot of unknowns out there. But hey, we got to leave here. We can't stay here in this cheeseless situation. Sniff sniffed it out. Scurry said, you know what? Let's get our shoes on, lace them up tight. Get our jogging suits, zip them up. Come on, let's go. And he take off running, and Sniff is falling behind him to the best of his ability because Scurry is gone trying to find a new cheese station. It wasn't until later in the day, way later in the day, that the little people showed up. And they were like, You gotta be kidding me. Where's all the cheese? Where's the cheese? So him is like, maybe they moved it. Maybe they put it over in the corner. So they start running around in this station, which is nothing but a square. They checked all four corners, and then Har was like, man, the cheese is gone. Who moved my cheese? Who moved my cheese? The cheese isn't here anymore. And had they noticed, they would have noticed it was getting lower and lower and change was coming. But they didn't. They got comfortable instead. So they sat there and they started scribbling these sayings on the wall. Life is better when you have cheese. And all these little different sayings that they had. I love all the little sayings that they had. One of them, move with the cheese and you can enjoy it. They sat there, still don't have the running shoes on, until him said, you know what? I think we're going to have to follow those little mice. They know something. They left. They're not here anymore. We should go out there into the maze. And Har was like, no, man, I don't want to go into the maze. It's scary out there in the maze. You don't know what can happen to you out there. Somebody can jump on you out there in that maze. All kind of dangerous pratfalls and everything is out there. I'm going to stay right here. But him was like, why would we stay here? He said, maybe they put it on the other side of the wall. And if we just work harder and we tried more and put in more effort, that we can get to the cheese. So they got their tools, sledgehammers, picks, and axes, and start busting a hole in the wall. And they were tired and ragged, and they kept slugging this wall. Nothing. Couldn't even get to the other side. All this strong concrete of the maze wall, they were just sitting there just working themselves in a hole. Okay? Until finally him said, I can't do this no more. This is crazy. I can't do this anymore. I'm going out into the maze. And I was like, are you stupid? You really gonna go out there? Yes, I'm going out there. Why don't you come with me? No, I'm gonna stay here and maybe they'll bring the cheese back. Maybe they'll bring it back over here. So he left his friend. Him went out there, put on his shoes, laced them up, zipped up his jogging suit, and he took off. And he was scared to death out there in the maze by himself. But he kept putting little markings on the walls just in case he get back into the same corridor, and some corridors were very, very dark. And one time he was running down a corridor, it was a big hole in the middle of the floor and he fell into it. And boy, he hurt himself, but he climbed out that hole and he wound up running around the maze and came back to that same hole again. But because he put the markings on the wall, he knew, oh man, I got to walk around this hole. See, that's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. He was famished. He was starving, but he kept finding just little pieces of cheese, just little bits. It was enough to sustain him, and sometimes it was enough to eat and put like 1 or 2 pieces in his pocket. He had a couple of them in there, and when he couldn't find no more, he would eat off what he found on the ground, but he kept running. He kept running, and he got to another cheese station, and it too was empty. It was empty. And then he was like, man, what could I do if I wasn't afraid? He said, and he just started running even harder and he started feeling good. He's like, why do I feel so great? I don't know where I'm going. I'm not sure where I'm going to end up. I don't have any cheese, but I feel good. And he just got his second win. And boy, he was just humping it. Found cheese station N, a new cheese station. And there was the little mice with the clipboards and enjoying the cheese and everything, got their sneakers around their neck. They had been there for months. He was like, man, I should have left earlier. I wonder if Ha is on his way. And pretty soon he said, you know what? This is so much cheese that all four of us, we won't be able to eat all this in our lifetime. I'm going to go back and get the homie. I'm going to go get Ha. And him ran back, followed the writing on the wall, and found this homie. He looked horrible. Oh, man. He looked bad. Raggedy looking. Holes in his sweatsuit. You know, shoes is all beat up. Still busting a hole in the wall and getting nowhere. He was like, man, Ha, you ain't got to do this no more. It's new cheese out there. It's new cheese. You can leave this cheeseless station. There's nothing here for you. He was like, well, I don't really like new cheese. I like the old cheese we had. Remember that old cheese? Won't you sit down and talk with me for a while? Let's talk about the old cheese that we used to have. He was like, man, it's new cheese out there. And it's a long journey. But if you come with me, you'll get there. He was like, no. You're a fool for even going out there. I don't know why you went out there in the first place. And Ha just looked at him like, you gotta be kidding me, man. You gonna stay here? Yeah, I'll stay right here. And Ha had to leave his friend, leave his buddy, leave his homie over there in the struggle, knowing that he was going to struggle to get back to where he was, but he had to go. And then he got back to Cheese Station Inn again, and man, it was stocked up, and life was good, and everybody was enjoying themselves. And every now and then he'd think about his old friend. I wonder what he's doing. Here's the moral to the story. Are you with me? Are you with me so far, you guys? Yeah, if you are with me so far, I want you guys to let me know. Terry, I hear you. You're not talking about cheese, are you? No, I'm not. What I'm talking about is maybe it is your old job, your old environment, the old neighborhood, the hood. One you grew up in, okay? It may be situations that is telling you, you got to get out of here. Greatness is out there somewhere. It's a big old world. What you staying here for? And you're going to have that one homie, that one good friend, that girlfriend, that boyfriend. Yeah, the one you grew up with. Know you like that. Ringing the bell. And they're going to tell you, man, what you going away for? Yeah, they're going to put the cheese back over here. Watch, we don't got nothing right now, but what are you leaving for? Don't you know it's dangerous? Don't you know you might not even make it back? Be like, yeah, I do. But think about this. What could I do if I wasn't afraid? You're scared. And ain't nothing here for you, and you're going to sit here and have nothing because they got nothing for you, and you're going to enjoy that anyway. I'm going out there. I might not make it. I might fall flat on my face. I might fall into the hole, but guess what? I'm going to learn along the way. Yeah, I'm going to learn how to fly this airplane while it's in flight. I'm going to give myself flight lessons on the airwaves. And I'm going to get out there and I'm going to run and I'm going to move and I'm going to go to a new place and a new job and a new neighborhood. And I'm going to find new cheese. And when I get there, it's going to be a beautiful thing. And I'm going to wish you were here with me. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can't go back. If you do go back, I tell you, a friend can take you down much quicker than an enemy ever could. It be your friends that bring you back down. Why? They don't want to see you leave. Misery loves company. They want you to keep them company. I know you want to bring them with you, but there's going to be certain environments, certain places where you just can't bring them because their mind isn't ready. When the mind is ready, all of a sudden a teacher will appear and they're going to sit there busting their head against the wall because we are humans. And like the little human hem and haw, we're going to overanalyze it. Man, we can think ourselves into a hole. You see what the little mice did? Cheese not here? Let's go. Yeah, ain't nothing happening over here. Let's go. This is a dead-end job. I'm gone. How many people are working the same job when you know you're thinking about the glory days of the job? They're going to bring the cheese back. No, they're not. And you're going to be sitting around wondering, who moved my cheese? Who moved it? Sometimes there's layoffs. Sometimes there's plant closures. Sometimes the business want to just relocate. Sometimes they take the corporate office and just revamp the top. And now there's new decisions coming down. It's new processes and procedures. And guess what? They might want new people. And they start looking at you with your tenure. They start looking at you, oh man, we can pay somebody else. Entry level. But my job wouldn't do that to me, Terry. It wouldn't do that to me. Cousins, let me tell you right now, you got to look out for numero uno. Keep your resume polished up. Keep your sneakers round your neck. That's what it means, resume polished up. Got my sneakers right here. When it's time to bounce, I'm going to look around, man, and it seems like the getting is good. I came here looking for a job. I'll leave here looking for a job. And you ain't did nothing slick to a can of oil, baby. I'm going to make my way, but sure, I want my friends, my co-workers. I want the cats I grew up with to come with me. I found out a lot doing this podcast. I found out it'd be total strangers out there in the public that will support you quicker than your own family and friends will. Why is that? Why is that? My cheese has moved. Your cheese is going to get moved. There are 3 stages of change, and then I'm going to let you go. 3 stages. Number 1, you just came out of a change. You done been through it. They said when you go through hell, keep moving. Don't you stop and stay in hell. Don't sit there and pick out your sledgehammer and your pickaxes and say, what, I might as well just start busting a hole through the wall. Maybe I'll find a better life in this place. No. Keep going. Number 2, you're currently going through change right now. Something is happening. It feels like I'm being pushed and molded. Yeah, I feel like I'm going through something. I don't understand why it's so much struggle. Well, the lump of clay don't recognize that it is a masterpiece when it's sitting on a potter's wheel. But I don't like this pressing, and I don't like the way you are making me feel here and there, and I got to keep changing. Yeah, you're turning into a new creature. It is a chrysalis. It is a metamorphosis is what it is. And the potter has seen that you are a work of art, but I got to change you from this square, ugly little lump of clay, and it's going to hurt a bit. Change. You're going through it. The third part of change is you just came out of it. You either about to go through it, you're going through it, or you just came out of change. What stage are you in right now? Because I guarantee you at one part in your life, somebody's going to move your cheese. When you sit around asking who, it's the them and the they and the those. The man, they did it and them. It's the powers that be. What is it? It's always can be something. Yeah, it could be the establishment, man. It could be, man, it's the government. It's just the way of the world. It's the unknown, unseen dark forces. It's the Illuminati. It's some other group that's sitting around with a veil. You can point your fingers everywhere you want to, but change came to you, and if you don't move, then you get left behind. Just like Hawk. Him went out there, wasn't he scared? Yeah, it's scary looking for a new job, looking for a new mate. You know, been through a relationship and that cheese is gone. You sitting over there in a relationship and you know this is a cheeseless situation right here. Ain't no cheese around here. Maybe if I beat my head against the wall, it'll change. Maybe it won't. somebody moved your cheese. So you need to leave that situation. It's hard to leave. It's hard to say goodbye sometimes, isn't it? Yes, it is. But I'm sorry, you guys, but I got to say goodbye to you right now. I got to say goodbye to you right now, family. Let me give myself a quick little round of applause. I love you guys. I hope you understand what it is, because I just want you to do one thing, and that's keep holding it down. Yes, here on Word to the Wise, I'm just dropping these little jewels of knowledge, just like him was out there on the road and he found just little pieces of cheese. Sometimes you got to get through on chump change before you can get to big money. Sometimes you got to have just a little bit before you can move your way up. I know I don't have a big platform, but I got one. That's all I got. And I'm going to keep doing it just like this, and I'm going to keep giving it to you like you should get it. Right here on Word to the Wise with the exclamation point. And I'm going to see you guys again. Yeah, I'm going to do you like I do my sweet potatoes. I'm going to plant you now, and I'm going to dig you later, baby. Because I feel like we made a kindred spirit, and like we go way back like fat crayons and Hot Wheel track. So could you
I hope you like the podcast and you really like the podcast.
Come on, be serious.
And you really like my podcast. Like and subscribe.